What is up, guys? Here for a quick video on roaming, warding, and team fights. Going to start it out here with a mid lane Gideon that notices an opportunity on the right side here for a gank. The right side they're pushed up on us, so what you're going to see is he clears this minion wave real quick and then comes over for a gank on the right side. So right here he just clears this wave, that way it doesn't push towards his tower too much while he's gone, and then pieces out over to the right side. We were already kind of in a fight with them, but kind of fizzles out with our jungler there. But Gideon stays and notices an opportunity for a gank since they haven't warded, and is able to get in on both of them there, and turns out getting first blood from that kill. So as a mid laner, this is a great play because he noticed that they were pushed up on us. It wasn't warded. He knew he could get in there and get a lot of damage down, and more importantly, he managed his minions so that it wouldn't push back into our tower and get damage on our tower. Alright, and a quick word here about wards and how wards win games. If you see here, we have wards set up kind of across the map here. Ideally, you want to get these wards out as far as you can, as far as you know the enemies aren't, to be able to get control of that area of the map, because if you know they are or aren't there, you're going to be comfortable going into these areas, or you're going to be comfortable fighting if you know that the enemies are somewhere else on the map, and you can make better decisions based on the information that wards give you. And ideally, you create the map pressure and map control with just a kind of a line of wards across the map, or where you think they might be, and ideally in areas that are kind of high traffic, like right here. Somebody's not going to run across here without being spotted by this ward, or run across this way without being spotted by that ward. So you're going to have a better understanding of where they are on the map and where you're safe to be on the map. If these wards aren't here, and you're in a situation where you push back kind of to your inhibitors and you don't have any wards down, then really the enemies could be anywhere on the map and you wouldn't know it. So and you wouldn't feel comfortable going anywhere on the map. You wouldn't feel comfortable pushing out lanes or clearing jungle camps, and you just kind of get stuck in your base without feeling kind of like your hands are tied behind your back and you can't do anything just because you don't have wards down. So if these wards are down, you're going to be able to know where they are and make better decisions based on fights, based on numbers. Like if you know someone's over here, you see someone down here in the jungle, you can fight a 5v4 fight maybe. So in general, the warding kind of comes down to like a battle of territories almost. See, they have wards across here as well, where we have wards, and ideally we would either win this fight here, or push them back to the point where these wards start to expire, or we can clear these wards, and then we put even deeper wards to where we think they might be coming through, and then we can control the whole map where they don't know where we are or what we're doing, so they don't feel comfortable coming out of their own base. So that's kind of how wards work. You just want to put them farther and farther to get more and more control of the map, to make better decisions on fights, and like if you would be able to get OP or something like that. And lastly, a quick word about team fighting in general. Basically, you want to be doing as much damage as possible to their damage dealers while staying safe as possible, at least as a carry. And you want them to focus tanks for sure. You want to make your tanks and your bruisers you want to make them feel like they have to focus the tank, because at that point your tanks are going to negate a ton of damage while your carries are pumping out damage kind of for free. In situations where their fighters are jumping on your carries with little to no cost, that's going to be bad, because most of the time the bruisers and fighters are going to dumpster the carries. So ideally, you want your tanks to soak up the damage, and you want your especially support and your other tanks to be mindful of keeping your carry alive. If your fighters and your tanks run in and just run at their twin blast and just run through and past their the enemy fighters, then the fighters can just run straight to your carries. So you wanna as a team you wanna have a balance of, you wanna dive their carries, but you also wanna keep yours alive. And this is an example. It's only a 2v3 fight, but this is, I think, a great example of how fights could go in general, where we're focusing the right targets. Lauren as support is keeping me alive because I can just kind of hide behind her while she soaks up a ton of damage, and I can pump out a ton of damage. And it's a 2v3 fight, and we end up just wrecking them. Lauren, awesome soccer here, is running towards me, being chased by 3, and I just in chat I was like, you wanna just fight him? So yeah, she's getting chased for sure. And at this point, I'm like, let's just fight him. I think we can do it. We got him in a hallway here where I can just mow them down. So kind of start to turn on him here. I'm staying as safe as I can while doing as much damage as I can while Lauren soaks up this damage. So even though she died here, I'm just completely mowing through their team, staying safe behind Richter. Feng Mao wasn't a problem because I had a lot of armor and was ahead of him at that point anyway. So we were able to pull out a 2v3 fight just because we focused the right enemies first. If I would have turned on Feng Mao there instead of killing Gideon first, or the other, who else was it?
Enemy tower destroyed.
Let's see who else was there. Oh, it was the enemy Richter. I think Richter went down first actually. But if I would have turned and focused Feng Mao first here when he jumps on me, then I would have let the other two would have gotten away, and then I think we only would have gotten the Feng Mao here. Either way, it turned out to be a great 2v3 fight there, just because Lauren was able to soak up damage and I was able to deal a lot of damage while taking only half my HP here. For a 2v3 fight, I'd say that's pretty good. Here's another example of, I think this was more of a power play than a team fight, because they had 2 or 3 over here, and we knew there were a couple of them over here. So I'm telling Lauren, just run at them. I'm right behind you, just run. So we're just running at them for sure. There's 3 here, and in this situation, I'm staying as close to Lauren as possible because that means she's going to tank more auto attacks than I am. While trying, like I said, you're going to do as much damage as you can while staying as safe as you can, because if you can run in and kill, as a ranger, if you could run in and kill their carries really quickly, that's great, but you're going to die. You're going to trade 1 for 1, and that's not going to help your team out. So really, you staying alive is more important than you getting any kills, because the longer you're alive, the more damage you're going to do in general. So just to keep that in mind in team fights, that you want your carries to stay alive, you want your tanks to tank damage, you want your bruisers to be able to get on their carries. There just has to be a balance, like I said, of peeling for your carries and of diving their carries and their casters.
Enemy double kill.
So in general, I think there needs to be at least one person that's staying right with whatever ranger is on your team, be it like a Murdoch or a Sparrow. If there's someone right there by Sparrow, even if they're not using any abilities, they're going to negate a significant amount of damage on the carry just by being in the way and getting in between and being able to soak up damage just because they have more armor and help them stay alive. So I think that was the biggest, at least earlier this week, that was the biggest problem with our team fights, is that we were diving super hard, and I was kind of left to my own with Quang, and I think Feng Mao was wrecking me that one game we got shreked. Basically, I wasn't getting any help to fight like their melee champions. And in this match, I got me and Lauren stuck together in team fights, and she was definitely soaking up the damage while I was dealing the damage. So that's ideally how I think team fights should go, and really is how we're going to win more games. Alright, I hope you liked my video. Let me know what you think.